Hi, I'm Eric Westrich, and you're watching Startup Show San Diego, the voice of the San Diego startup community. And today, the startup community is at the Esri User Conference. We're in the startup zone, and we're here with Shea Broussard, co-founder and solutions engineer from FlameMapper. Did I get that right?
You did. Hi. Hey, everybody.
So, flame and mapping. What caused you to map flames?
Well, everybody loves fire, but when I was young, my house burned to the ground, and my two neighbors perished in the fire. So I was like, well, that sucked. So I was like, well, first I became a fireman. Then I was like, well, I still feel like I'm doing enough. So I was like, then I applied to college, got a full scholarship, and off I went building a full-on mapping platform that actually helps better predict where fire's going, so we can better understand it, so we can actually work towards trying to reduce the destruction that actually causes each and every year.
So who is FlameMapper for? Is that for a homeowner or the fire department? Who uses FlameMapper?
So what's exciting is we're very diverse. We can do a lot of things. It comes down to the individual homeowner that is concerned about their own personal safety, all the way up to the news agencies that actually use it to help map and predict where fire is going, all the way down to the utility structures where they're trying to keep it so the fire burns around their utility infrastructure so the lights can stay on.
So give us what focuses your attention the most, or what is your biggest solution in rolling out FlameMapper? Is it programming or knowledge? What is it?
So the biggest thing is we're very heavy on the ArcGIS platform, but the idea is the technology that we use is typically used by US Forest Service, but it's very labor intensive. It takes about 8 hours to do, and that's really cumbersome. So by the time the fire starts 8 hours later, it's not really helpful. So what we do is we package it up, and we've actually built a fire behavior engine, so we can actually get the technology into the hands of the firefighters a lot sooner. So seconds after the fire starts, they understand where it's going, where they can best put their resources, how they can working to contain the fire. So they're getting this great wealth of knowledge that they didn't have before. That if they did get it, it would be after there's a lot of destruction already made, and they lost that initial attack to try to reduce it. So they get that great information.
So Shea, what is your personal biggest challenge in rolling this out?
The biggest challenge is getting out there and getting people aware of this technology. A lot of people see it and they're like, oh, I didn't even know this existed. This could have been really helpful in the fire we just had. So I feel like it's here and oh, well, yeah, well, you've been great, last week, but it's just getting our knowledge out there so people know that we exist.
Spreading the word.
Spreading the word.
So personalize the results a little bit. Give us a specific example of what somebody has personally told you on how this has impacted their life.
So it's really exciting to hear, when we work with Homeowners Association, and to hear someone saying, well, thank God that we have you in here, because before we were so worried about fire and losing our house again. Then the problem you hear is people lose their house, they rebuild, and then they lose it again. So finally, the technology is at a place where we can actually understand the landscape in a whole new way, where we actually have ways that we can plant oak trees or do certain mitigation methods, so the fire can now is more encouraged to burn around the community instead of through it. That wasn't available a couple of years ago. That's exciting stuff. Now we finally have a solution where, hey, we can actually get some implementation money where we can go and we can actually modify the landscape to make the whole community a lot more fire-wise and fire-safe, and that's an exciting point for me.
So give us a specific example, some organization, somebody specifically.
So we work with the Homeowners Association in the city of Malibu, Big Rock Homeowners Association, where we're growing 12,000 oak trees a year with the Los Angeles County Fire Department. And what we do is oak trees do a really great job of basically reducing fire intensity. So we really put a curtain of oak trees around the community. So as the fire comes through, the oak tree will still burn, but however the difference is it drops the intensity down. So now your fireman can put the water on the fire instead of the water evaporating. It can actually do some damage and actually start putting the fire out or turning the fire.
So what did the homeowners agency specifically tell you?
So they were like, wow, this is really exciting. Finally, I can actually sleep at night knowing that we're putting something in place that can actually do something where I don't have to worry each and every day, what am I going to pack? What do I need? Do I need to pack the car? What am I going to take? How do I deal with the animals? How do I deal with horses? All these taken into consideration. And me personally losing my house, we had less than 10 minutes to gather stuff. I would have just given, an hour. If I had an hour to gather stuff, I would have gathered so much more.
And how has working with Esri made your job easier?
Esri's been fantastic. The starter program is really great. They gave us, tons of software, over $50,000 in software over the 3 years. It's really fantastic. It allows us to not feel restricted on what technology I can use. I can scale up. I can use advanced server licensing technology to get our technology from the desktop up into the cloud and onto servers and more accessible from a web API. Versus without that technology, I really don't have that way of doing it without doing a really expensive, cloud implementation with Amazon Cloud or Azure and all those other options.
And when I interview you next year here, what are you going to be able to tell me then specifically that you can't tell me now? In other words, where is FlameMapper going in the next year?
Well, I would like you to see it used in more local fire departments in the news media, because I really feel like it really has a great opportunity to really give people a fighting chance and understanding where the fire is going, how it's moving, and then get out and ahead of the fire. So like everybody feels a little bit more safer than they currently do now, because everybody's vulnerable. And so if I can just take the vulnerability away from one or two people, but that would be exciting. But honestly, with the traction that we're going now, I feel like we're going to be a lot more than that. People are going to be really excited about this. They're getting into it, and we're going to see it implemented across the country. So that's exciting for us.
And probably the most important question, if somebody wants to know more about you and FlameMapper, where do they go?
You can go on our website, FlameMapper.com, or you can contact us at contact@FlameMapper.com. It goes to me and my partner, and we'll get back to you right away.
Shea, thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do.
Have fun, guys.
And thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.